I feel like I have a lot to offer another human being in a relationship, and yet I've been a master at blocking it.
The feeling of not being able to do it is what's blocking it. Period. It really is this simple. I want to do this. It's not happening. I'm aware it's not happening, so it can't happen. I want to do this or have this, but it's not happening, but it could happen. I would like it to happen. It's happened for others. No logical reason why it isn't happening. Maybe my struggle was just in getting my vibrational escrow ready, and I feel it is. It's time for me to let it happen. The stream is flowing. If they can do it, I can do it. In other words, it really is only your attention to what is that's keeping you from moving to a new place. You keep telling the story like it is. And we don't blame you for being indignant about it, because such a large part of you knows that you're supposed to get what you want. And your awareness that you're not yet getting it. This is the reason that we've been trying to help you to morph into this broader being that you are. Most of you already has received what you're looking for, and you say, well, Abraham, that's fine for you to say that, but we're here looking at manifestations, and I don't see the manifestations, so it's hard for me to believe it's done. And we say, we know it is, and therein lies your problem. You've got to believe in your vibrational escrow. And so we want you to figure out a way, and you're going to have to do it, where you quantify your own journey. We want you to realize that disappointment is pointed the wrong way. Hopefulness is pointing toward what you want. A feeling of injustice is pointing in opposition to what you want. A feeling of expectation is pointing toward what you want. So you have to find a way of making what is feel good enough to you that you can point downstream. So listen to the difference. I'm not getting what I want, and I never will. I'm not getting what I want, but it could be turning around. My current condition is permanent. My current condition is temporary. In other words, you just have to talk yourself into vibrational alignment with your own desire. That's all. I'm going to accept that I am where I am. It doesn't matter if I put my boat in the stream over here in appreciation, or down here in fear, or over here in frustration. It does not matter where I put my boat in, because the stream is always moving toward that which I'm wanting. So wherever I put my boat in, I have only one thing to do, and that is to relax and let the stream carry me, to find the best feeling thought that I can find from wherever I am. And where I am is in this attitude of pessimistic pessimism. Pessimistic pessimism. I'm bordering on hopefulness, but I kill it every time it raises its head. I feel hopefulness raise up a little bit, but then the reality and my truthfulness about life just swoops in, and I take care of that hopefulness really fast, because there's no point in saying to somebody something that isn't. After all, they might look at me and call me foolish. If I were to pretend that I'm happy before I get my relationship, people around me would say I'm delusional. So I prefer to tell it like it is. So when people say, how are you? I say, I feel pretty bad. And they say, why is that? Because I'm not getting what I want. Well, what is it that you want? Well, I've wanted it for a really long time. Well, what is it? Well, I want a relationship, and I think I'm deserving of it. And we want you to start telling a different story. How are you? I'm doing quite well, thank you. Well, what's going on with you? All kinds of wonderful things. Well, you seem happier than I've seen you before. Well, it's because I've gotten myself squared away, and some things are really unfolding for me nicely. Oh, last time I talked to you, there was a relationship you were wanting. Did you find someone? Well, yes and no. Well, what do you mean? Well, I can feel I'm on the brink of it. I'm right on the trail of it. What do you mean? Did you find somebody, or didn't you find someone? Well, the larger part of me did find someone. The larger part of me is already living and breathing and loving and experiencing this wonderful relationship. This might be too much information for most people, but it's the way.
I'll say it word for word.
But it's the way we want you to tell the story. Well, what do you mean? Did you find a relationship? I haven't actually seen the face of this person, but I can feel the vibration of my being has come into such alignment. Won't be long, and so now I'm standing in a place of excited anticipation, and I don't have this feeling that I need to turn every corner and say, is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Because I can feel that when I turn the corner and it is that one, that we will both just know it. And so I have this sort of relaxed relaxed calm that has come over me because I figured out the rules of this game. I finally figured out that I was worthy before I was born. And the longer I live, the more worthier I become. And the longer I live, the clearer I am about what I want. And I'm excited about the fact that my life has caused me to create such a magnificent relationship that now I know I'm standing on the brink of it. I'm standing in eager anticipation of it unfolding. I'm no longer missing it because it's a sure thing. I'm just excited about when I'm going to get to see it. And so every day is sort of a day of adventure. I'm not sure where it will unfold or when it will unfold or who it will be or how it will come about, but I know it will come about. And in that knowledge that I must have all things that I want, I'm relaxed and willing to allow the universe to let it unfold for me in the most perfect way. I'm good with that. And your friend will say, you're stranger now than before. But you can feel the power of that, you see. It's not possible for you not to get what you want unless you keep telling everybody you're not getting what you want. You got to tell a different story. I'm going to come into alignment with the relationship that matters more to me than all other relationships put together, which is the relationship between me and my source. And when I do that, our relationship will come to us. It must be.
And I would like to know Abraham's take on dating and how to date Abraham style.
Profusely, passionately, freely, with no strings.
Could you, if you can elaborate a little bit more, sort of what does a date look like? You read
It looks like the most fun interchange that I can find from where I'm standing right now. We don't want to use the word fast, but we want to find a word that means from the proximity of where I stand, what's the best use of my interactive time from where I stand? And the reason that we're giving it to you in this sort of odd way is because there's a tendency, especially after you've had a relationship and now that relationship is behind you, and so you've got a long list of things you don't want to repeat, and your vibrational escrow is full of the other side of all of that. In other words, all the stuff you don't want to repeat has already been put, the better version of it, in your vibrational escrow. So you don't have to sort that out or guard against it. You don't have to worry about it. It's already there. And the attraction process has begun even before this relationship stopped. So the attraction of what you want is already powerfully there. But there's a tendency, especially in this environment where, that's why we said profusely. We want you to have the feeling of sort of freely flowing in this, rather than the attitude of, I'm going to get it right this time. Because the attitude, I'm going to get it right this time, causes you to remember what wasn't right, activate that within your vibration, and then make sure that you do all those things again that you don't want to do. Where if you have this carefree, it's all lined up, it's already done, and my work is to have fun in dating, to have fun in lovemaking, to have fun in conversation, to have fun in interaction, to have fun in conversation, to have fun, to have fun, to have fun, to have fun, to feel good, to be stimulated, to be invigorated, to be vital and alive. In other words, I'm not on the search for a relationship, I'm on the search for a meaningful moment, a meaningful moment, a meaningful moment, meaning one that feels good now. And once you find a little bit of that and tune into that, you'll know right away, you'll know intuitively. And so a lot of people intuitively know that, and those are the ones that you hear say when they meet you, I'm not looking for anything serious. And most people, especially women, really don't want to hear that. I'm not looking for anything serious. If someone says that to you, we want you to say and mean it, then you're exactly what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm looking for. The serious stuff bogs us down. What I'm looking for is an excuse to line up with who I am. And what if you have 100 or 200 or 300 different excuses to line up with who you are? Guess what? You've lined up with who you are, and then that relationship must come.
What about sex? Where does sex, should you wait a certain amount of time before you have sex with somebody? Do you need to know them well, or do you just get on in there and woohoo, have a good old time?
Well, if sex isn't fun, delay it. Otherwise, it's part of what we were talking about. In other words, it is the single most sought after component in interaction. And therefore, that may be the reason that so many people use it as a weapon or a club or something to hold against another, you see. But your broader non-physical perspective, in other words, let's talk about that sexual calling, that sexual interaction, that sexual feeling, that feeling of attraction that often is then explained through sexual terms, sexual attraction. And many people, most of them outside of this room, would not feel comfortable with what we're going to say next, but there is very little, if any, difference between the energy of alignment and the energy of sexuality. And when you think about it, think about what the components of a really wonderful sexual interaction are. So, two people coming together for co-creation, and by that we're not talking about procreation, we're talking about co-creation, sharing a moment where common intentions are focused upon in an attitude of distraction so that there is a cessation of resistance, makes for an orgasmic explosion of alignment. And we want to say, while everything that is an orgasm is not alignment, an orgasm in alignment, it just does not get any better than that. We encourage sexuality in the way we encourage all other things, and we've had a lot of discussion about this here today. Line up with who you are and then go to the grocery store. Line up with who you are and then get out in traffic. Line up with who you are and then have your sexual interaction. Don't have your sexual interaction or eat whatever you're eating as your method to get lined up. Get lined up and then act. Line up and then act, you see. We want you to have an attitude of, I can't get it wrong, and meanwhile, I'm just collecting data. And what I really want's already amassed over there in my vibrational escrow, in my vibrational reality, and all of the components have been drawn to it, and the only missing part is me. Now, what can I do to get in that vortex? That's the question that you want to ask yourself, no matter what it is you're looking for over there. What is the fastest path? What's the path of least resistance to get me inside that vortex? What can I do? Well, first of all, being lighthearted being hopeful is a whole lot closer than being in despair or dependent or brokenhearted or left feeling abandoned, you see. So you want to get within the range of the vortex before you try to get in. Otherwise, if you try to force yourself in, it'll just spin you right out. If you don't match, it'll just fling you off in the bushes. So you've had those experiences, haven't you? So you might as well warm yourself up to the proximity of it. Get hopeful and happy. And that's why our encouragement was, just don't make anything serious about it. In other words, just have fun with it and trust that law of attraction will bring you that. And don't try to make this one it, and this one it, and this one it. Say to yourself, none of you are it. I'm just having fun with you. None of you are it. None of you are it. None of you are it. It's in my vortex. I'm just using you to get into my vortex.
Now, the only thing that I am a little concerned is that I am, because of what happened, I have all these ideas in my mind of the things that are good for me and the things that are not good for me. And I'm measuring all these people based on the expectations that I put my...
There's nothing wrong with that, because in life, you know what you don't want, which causes you to know what you do want. And you have built a very good profile.
Yeah, I have a
profile of what you want. It's a vibrational one. Now, you can go through the motions on the dating sites or whatever, and you're establishing some of the same things. It's not so different from what you've put into your vortex. But the key is that in the seeing the 300 or the 50 or the whatever that the website has yielded to you, there's so much action in that then you get back involved in the action part of it, where if you stay in the vibrational part of it, more general, want to feel good, want to have fun.
But in that case, I like all of them. It's hard because this one has something really cool, or I like how he is as a father, but then, oh, this one has an amazing body, but he's a father too, and then it's about loving me, and I'm happy, and then I tell this one, oh, I want to see you, but I want to see you too.
But listen to what you're doing. Everyone, listen to the action orientation, the action approach to this that is overwhelming. the action approach to it, where if you could step back just for a little while, now you've had the experience, step back from the details of it and don't try to make a decision that your inner being has already made that you're not in the place of hearing the answer to. We promise you that your inner being knows what you want and where it is and is guiding you to it. And whether it comes through this format or not is not important. What is important is that you keep active within yourself only that you want to feel good and that you believe things are working out. And what you just said was the opposite of that. You said, I want it to go well, but it's very confusing, and I want it to go well, but it's very overwhelming, and I want to find one, but I've found so many, and I want to know who it will be, but I'm confused. So you're doing the engine, and creating chaos rather than clarity within you, where you could instead step back and say, well, I was inspired to a process, and now I know that there are a lot of opportunities, and I know that not only is there a lot of potential, but there are a lot of people who are easily attracted to me. So this isn't going to be the difficult thing that I thought that it might be, and I'm going to have fun in the unfolding of this.
But how I do that without action?
Wait.
Okay.
And this time, it's all right. This time I'm going to do it from the inside out. This time I'm going to find the vibrational essence of it. This time I'm going to find resonance within myself of what I want. And then in that receptive mode, things will light up for me. It feels to you, we know it does, just from the action that you've taken, it feels to you like there are a whole lot of right answers or a whole lot of wrong answers. And not only do you want to not find one of the wrong answers, you don't want to find less than the rightest of the right answers. That's the way your inner being and the universe work. You are never inspired towards something that does not have the potential to give you everything that you want. But you've got to get in touch with the way you feel, get out of your head and into your gut, which is your heart. In other words, get out of your head and into your feeling, and let the feeling help you to know, which means don't try to push past it. Just let it unfold naturally. These are the things that have happened as a result of this experience. You have identified and amplified, made more, your knowledge that you have a strong desire about this. You have also identified and made known to yourself that you are now ready to do something about it. The question is, you don't know exactly what to do about it. That doesn't matter. You know what you want and why you want it. You don't know how or where or when or who, but your inner being does. Now hear this. Your inner being knows what and why and how and where and when and who. Your inner being knows all of that. If you know what and why, and you just stay satisfied with what and why, you'll be inspired to circumstances and events that will fill in the details of how and where and when and who. But if you demand of yourself, sift through the list, look all up and down, look at the pictures, listen to the profiles, call them, talk to them, ask them questions, so that you're trying to figure out the how and the where and the when and the who with your thoughts, then you hold yourself in resistance to your own vibrational alignment with your own inner being, and then the inspiration cannot unfold for you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
This is the most important thing that we want to say to you. You want your vortex to be your dating service. It is, which means you got to get into alignment with it and then follow what feels good to you, and you can't come up with a manifestation that isn't wonderful, and all the steps along the way will be playful and interesting and nice. Humans, we love you so much, but you want to get to what you think is the end result now, because you stand in the absence of it and you don't like it, so you assume immediate presence of what is absent is what is the answer for me to live happily ever after. I immediately want the presence of what is absent. Just live it without needing the manifestation. Just feel it for a little while, and then it must make its way to you. It defies law for it to be otherwise. It must make its way to you.